A little more. How much is gas where you at now?
Mm.
You said it's what?
Nah, she told me that one of the dudes that used to work here that I be sitting hollering that was out here, but I don't see him at all. Unless he's inside.
Hey, real.
Yeah. Hold on, pumping gas real quick, man.
Oh, you pumping gas. All right. Oh, how much is your gas?
Fucking too much. Fucking $6.
$6? God
Over
damn.
six, between 6 or 7, because I'm not in my car right now. I was in a car accident. So I only put Chevron shit in my shit. I put 91 Chevron in my shit. So I'm spending like down there $7 a gallon. Me and somebody else's shit. Man, gotta put that high ass gas in
Damn. That's high, man. Our shit's going down 2 weeks in a row in South Carolina. That shit's at in some places it's like 420 something.
there. And when gas hit $10 a gallon, I'm going to get an electric car, nigga.
Right? Give me the and you get the
Everything
cash back rebate.
is real.
You think that's a play into getting people to use or convert the electric cars?
I know in California, the dumb motherfucking Newsom said that in 2025, everybody had to have an electric vehicle.
Yeah. Are they considering a gas tax out there?
The motherfucker was talking about if you got long as you got a license in a vehicle, they're giving out $400 checks, but that ain't shit. That's it's costing like $100 to fill your tank, but that's four full tanks of gas. You
Mm-hmm.
gonna burn through that shit in a week. That ain't enough. You know, beggars can't be choosy. I don't know if you the police or something else, nigga, or are you doing GSI? But your car look like a cop car. You got all this shit on the top that does the GSI shit. I know because I went to school for that shit. Good. I don't see him. Where's he at? Oh. I'm comfortable. See. Is everybody gonna log on tonight or not?
Gonna be me, you, brother Born's getting on. But yeah, I'm gonna talk about some news and stuff like that, man. And then touch on the Roe versus Wade.
It's that abortion shit, right?
Uh
That's that abortion law shit, ain't it?
yeah, that's that modifying the basically just putting abortion in the states hands for the most part. Yeah, I'm pulling up some articles now, but I just saw this article earlier about Bruce Beach in California. Giving reparations to some extent to a black family who had the a whole beach taken from them.
No shit. I got a way that they can fix the problem. If
What
the
the Rover
if a
on the
man
Roe
has
versus
one
Wade?
kid, right? And I'm saying without the bullshit of the court system and all the shit against us, if it was actually based on fairness, even though we know it won't be. If a cat's already a deadbeat dad and you have a second child, when you have that second child, if you're not capable of handling that second child, then the state needs to give that man a hysterectomy. Or the woman in the same case, if she keep popping out all these kids and she can't take care of them, well, that state pay for getting her tubes tied. That would end the problem. As harsh as the punishment sounds, that will fix the problem. Because then you're gonna have niggas running like dogs because they don't want to get neutered. I look at it like this: to me, to be a parent is a rite of passage. Many men have failed. Many men have accepted the challenge. But the emotional shit, the separation of the black family, the attack on the family structure, a black woman, black man, and child, the lifestyles that come into play, which makes relationships difficult because you gotta ask, what are you dating? Am I dating a woman? Am I dating a girl? Am I dating somebody that's modern and they just live by lifestyle? Or are you just a fuck fling? There's so many different categories we can go through. Some more degrading than others, but I ain't gonna do that. But it's kind of when you look at reality now, from like, because we came from a different generation, and we look at the shit now, it's like, God damn, y'all wild. Not only y'all wild, y'all don't think for shit. And it's kind of like the situation that we in, we kind of allowed that shit because nobody stepped up to tell them, hey, this shit is wrong. My personal opinion, I ain't gonna say it's facts.
That's one way to approach it, though. You're absolutely right. I was when you said the when you said the sterilization. If you show a capacity to be sexually irresponsible, that says a lot. Yo, you know what? That kind of would have been because those kind of sterilization was often like chosen for like extreme rapists, savage rapists, and shit like that. And then you had, black men were often and black women often sterilized without even being known. But when you see how the society is now, if they're gonna have an abortion law legally, the conditions can't just be one-sided. Absolutely, I think all options should be considered when you think about it. Because supposedly this is just the beginning of it, where I guess there's certain contraceptives are going to be taken off the market and things like that. Peace,
Put it
Superman.
like this: a man can go into a welfare office and get whatever he needs to see a doctor, right? Or it'll lead him to another organization that's going to lead him to another organization. A man can get free condoms. You can get a prescription for Cialis or Viagra. Everything you need to go off and enjoy fucking, having a good fucking time, fucking at your best. The woman, on the other hand, can go and get funding, get a check, even, get Section 8, get all this stuff to take care of her and her family. But a man in that same situation can't get the same shit. But we can get condoms and Viagra and Cialis from, our doctors and pat you on the back, make sure you're healthy and tell you fuck on. Hey, it's my opinion. I didn't say it was fact. Peace, brother Minkara.
Peace, peace, family.
What'd you think about the conversation?
Just here listening in, but I did see this article that said that since they put that in place. Well, before I say that, anybody see the little Trump rally?
No, I didn't.
Nah, I didn't.
Oh yeah, man. The white lady came up and gave him like a humanitarian award for preserving what she said white life. An article also came out that said that since the 2020 consensus, the white population is lower than it has been ever in America. So this is really what the real thing is. As General Shea would say, don't chase the smoke, find the fire. And an aging population is when you have a situation where you have more elders than you have kids. And I think that's what's really going on here. And to be quite honest with you fellas, I think this is the reality of those skewed numbers from coronavirus. I think it took a lot of their family. I think it took a lot of it took a lot of white folks out. I'm just gonna say it like that. I think a lot of white folks died from the coronavirus, bro. And this is Trump. They already been closing down animal brothels. They've been already advocating for Europeans to start populating. They already came up with the consensus that showed that I think that the average age for a European in Europe was like 40. And in the next 20 years, you're gonna see a lot of their numbers declining. But on our side, we too busy reacting. I see an article that said that since the decision was passed, there's been an increase in numbers of vasectomies, which are reversible. But our people are so busy reacting to the situation, not even seeing that 40 million abortions have been taking place and has been destroying the black community. So for us, it's a situation to populate our numbers. But for the blind black folks, man, they're just going down there buying the Plan Bs, rushing to get vasectomies, not knowing that they still support Margaret Sanger by vasectomies are reversible, but you gotta have a surgeon perform it. So that's what I gotta say on the topic, brothers. Hotel.
Shit, we should be able to have a civil lawsuit against the Sanger family for the deaths to abortions of black infants. Oh, fetuses. My bad.
True.
The sad part about that reality is that a lot of people going down there and they're doing it, signing those consent forms, that privacy consent form. If you look, it's been the issue on the table with us since the civil rights movement. Jesse Jackson was against it, but when Jesse Jackson ran for president, I think his whole attitude changed to pro-choice with an attempt to sway voters. So this happened before, But the issue that slow us down from suing the Margaret Sanger family would be that they'll probably argue, well, we didn't force them. A lot of these mothers did it willingly and gave their consent. So that's another issue we'll probably face.
Yeah, my perspective on it is I think that I think it's kind of I think the fact that when Texas did what they did recently, it was already known that they were going to overthrow it.
Oh,
and the fact that they overthrew it means that there's a bit of accountability that has to be played.
That I have,
more so on females, not necessarily men as much,
The high five.
Most of the people complaining about pregnancy are women. It's not men who are marching or having having a negative perspective on the value of bringing forth life. So I'm not saying that men don't exist that haven't coerced a woman or paid a woman to get an abortion. But I know when you look at sexual rights and reproductive rights in America, most men aren't allowed to openly participate in those dialogues in an open forum. We got some comments in here. We got My Queen Horton in the comment section. She stated she said she feels like sterilization may fit right in certain cases.
Thank you, My Queen.
Mm-hmm.
That's born daughter, right?
Yep.
Peace to you, Queen, and your family. Well respected here.
I'm gonna put the I'll put the link in the
You didn't take my order.
comment section for people who want to join in. We got
I have the Dutch things that sending it to the freeze.
Hey, I'm gonna sign in from my other phone real quick.
I
Uh,
yeah, if you're listening, you could click on the link
Yeah.
in the comment section and join in the conversation. But tonight we're talking about Roe versus Wade, its effect or possible effects on the Black community, and just in general what's going on around the nation you might know about that's affecting our people in a positive manner or constructive manner that's definitely worth discussing. So you on Feet on the Ground Radio. It's been a minute since we've been up here, but to continue on about my perspective, I think that when you look back on history, back in the 70s, I had this conversation with my mother recently, and a couple of older people in their 60s, and one of the things they were saying was at the time of Roe versus Wade, you know, Europeans weren't having like five and 10 babies. You know, they weren't having big families. It was like the ideal nuclear family, like 1 or 2 children. And in most cases where a white woman might have gotten an abortion, it was her husband who gave the authority because, of course, he's got to consider providing for more mouths, right? And we know that's the situation they faced at another time historically, but it doesn't change through time in a minor sense when you see that he would abort his children rather than provide for it, knowing, you know, when you have sex, children are produced. And so at that time, you think about the 70s, Black people were still having big families. As far as you know, you might find yourself having 10 aunts and something like that, or 10 aunts and uncles, or big families were still being produced then.
I wish I could that yesterday when I did.
So initially, when abortion started in the 70s, it was a curb our population. You know, I think that job was achieved to some extent at this point, but white folks also sacrificed their children as well through the process. So we're at a point now where it's a good thing on our side that Black babies aren't easily going to be aborted, you know, and white folks are doing it for preservation of the population or an attempt to reboot it.
Exactly. No, it's funny, brother Cards.
Peace.
When you look at the world, how the world is looking at the situation, you mean to tell me that American women are protesting the right to abort their babies in reflection to living a sexually liberated life? That's like an oxymoron, right?
True.
That's like an oxymoron, right?
True.
That's like an oxymoron, right?
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
We got a little loop going on, family. I don't know what's going on. But that's something to consider. That's something to consider. Outside looking in. If you're not from America, turn on your television. You have no real knowledge of the history of that America. It was American women protesting for the right to abort their to abort their babies, in reflecting the lifestyle of being sexually liberated, doing what you want to do with your body in that context. You know.
Yeah, it's kind of, you know, it's something where the argument comes up about, you know, the right to one's body, or the idea that the government is taking control over over women by doing this. I don't really understand that because they're still responsible for providing you the abortion. So why wouldn't they be responsible for taking away that that access? Meaning they're still codependent on the government to provide the service, regardless if it's gonna do it or not. Because the other option is uncharted territory.
Yeah, exactly. And then I want to just throw some statistics out there right quickly for those who don't know. 0.5% of abortions are coming from rape victims. That's less than 1%. 3% are not ready to be mothers. Another 4% is physical. Another 7% is what does it say here? Will conflict with education or career. 12% not ready to be mothers. Okay, these are some statistics to put out there, so people get to making the argument about rape, and they'll also make the argument again. Well, those are the rapes that's being not reported, for example. Well, that will mean that most rape victims are having their children. So I'm prepared for any argument on that matter, and how you want to rationalize. I just want to put that out there, family.
Peace to the chat. My queen's on. Brother Bourne was just on the line also. My queen's on. Brother Bourne was just on the line also.
Hey everyone, I don't know why like the loop is going on. Very.
You got speakers on in the background?
Hey everyone, I don't know why. No, I don't have my speakers on. Very.
You got speakers on in the background?
Hey everyone, I don't
Probably we got to mute our mics. That one person speak at a time. I think she is.
You good to speak?
So what I wanted to say about this whole Roe versus Wade thing is that first things first, I am pro-life. Sorry, I might have to take my earphone out so that way I won't hear myself. But I feel like, people have now gotten things confused because from what I've researched, let me paste it into the YouTube chat. Oh, I can't. But essentially, from what I read is that in Roe versus Wade, the Supreme Court decided two important things. The United States Constitution provides a fundamental right to privacy that protects a person's right to choose whether to have an abortion. But also, what the second thing is, but the abortion right is not absolute. It must be balanced against the government's interest in protecting the health and prenatal life. And I feel like, from my experience from speaking amongst younger women my age, it seems like from what it sounds like, they want to use like abortion as like some sort of birth control, like, oh, if I have unprotected sex, whatever, I'll just get an abortion. And I feel like it's becoming it's sickening to me because it's like you're just deleting a human life. But then these are the same people where, let's say your dog uses the bathroom in the house. If you hit your dog on her butt with a newspaper, these will be the same people that will come for your heads and be like, oh, that's abuse. Oh, this and that. You need to be locked up. And I find it very interesting how these same people do not value human life versus like some animals' life. I just find it interesting. Human life versus like some animals' life. I just find it interesting.
I share good point. I appreciate your input, my queen.
I think she did make a good point there with some using birth control. I mean, some using abortion as a form of birth control. You know, which I think should be the last minute, given a dire situation. But just to, like the sister was saying, just I'll just have the abortion and so forth. You know, that's like just like another form of birth control to some extent.
I wanted to touch on real quick about the reason being, I guess, interfering with one's academic or financial aspirations or something like that. And so the conversation earlier in the year prior to the judgment was often about younger Black women choosing to pick the careers over being mothers or having families. And it kind of takes a shot to that too now, because then the access to delay bringing forth life is now, something they have to consider. It's not easily avoidable. And that's back to when you consider it being used as a form of birth control. So you can't just skip your 20s now without a kid because you want your master's or whatever, you want a certain position at a job. And I think it kind of speaks to a human issue where, like, how people define themselves through, labels and certain things like that. Chasing money and certain things puts the humanity at risk. And so it's kind of, I see it as kind of like a knockout punch to the reproductive identity, dysfunctional reproductive identity in the Black community. A lot of what we practice regarding having children and procreating is still connected deeply to what we've been taught in slavery. So as many people might have a problem with the idea that Black people shouldn't have children if they don't have money or so forth, it's going to happen irregardless. But it's not something that we should be saying we shouldn't be promoting. We definitely should be promoting Black life and Black babies being born. If this judgment helps in that way, it's definitely something I'm glad happened.
Got a good point there. Makes you want to question humanity. If you live in a so-called society which likes to poster themselves as being leaders of the free world, what kind of situation would have to be created or looked at when women in this free world have to compromise between having a baby because it's unaffordable? That's crazy. If anything, it's a situation where natural environment would dictate that, where we have droughts and things like that, and naturally human beings aren't procreating out of necessity because of the environmental situations. This shit is socially engineered. Come on, family. This shit is socially engineered. You know what I'm saying? What kind of society creates a situation where a woman has to compromise between her career and giving life because there's only a incentive put in place for temporary maternal leave, things like that, family?
Sure, indeed. Peace, Brother Born.
Peace, Brother Born.
All right, peace and power. I'm here now. Give me 1 second. I'm just getting my shit set up right. I'm trying to get some of these articles pulled up. Some of these videos of the crazies going crazy. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Abortion a funny thing, man. The funny shit is that the people who listen, right? This the worst shit about the abortion thing is that the fucking idiots who protested are not really seeing the freedom that the motherfucking government really giving you. Is that really it's a motherfucking testament to the fact of that when you got conservatives think that the Fed shouldn't have shit to do with your life, that you should be do your shit your own self. Because that's basically what the motherfucking ruler was saying. They don't, all the shit about kids and all that. The reason why the shit happened, on top of that, hold on, let me start there. The people who protested caused for the shit to get overturned because they was pushing fucking third trimester and after birth abortion. That's what they fucking fault. That's what they was pushing for. So when you start pushing for shit like that, you asking for motherfucking trouble. Because the Fed shouldn't be deciding shit like that anyway. You know what I'm saying? The government shouldn't have no autonomy over your body. The government shouldn't tell you whether or not you could kill your kid or not. You know what I mean? If y'all want to decide that, y'all in your own state decide that shit. So I agree with that. I'm agreeable with that. You know what I mean? I'm agreeable with the whole situation all in all because, them shits is just connected to the fact that it's just giving me a little bit more freedom to do what the fuck I want to do. I understand that. Most people don't. So them jokers asked for it, man. Liberals asked for this, man. You want to kill babies after, then vote for that. You can't, come on, man. Then they want to make the feds pay for it. Where you want to make the feds pay to kill your kid after the motherfucker born? We're gonna kill the kid after it's born. Nah, that's madness right there. So that's how I look at this shit. I see that these jokers these idiots getting what they want. They getting what they deserve. They getting all of what the hell they deserve. That's how I see it. Man. Matter of fact, let me see these. Besides that, though, and they don't even know what the fuck is going on. But who would have known? Who would have thought? Who would have thought? Oh, Uncle Clarence Thomas would have came up with some shit like this to stop babies from getting stop black babies from getting killed. Who would have thought this was gonna happen?
Right. Oh, Uncle Rugged Clarence.
Oh yeah, Uncle Clarence Thomas. Yeah. Boy, when we ain't had nothing but filth with Clarence, boy, when he came out there, boy, and goddamn Clarence that came around in the ninth inning and said, wait a minute, these motherfuckers is trying to kill black babies. He using Roe v. Wade. He using Margaret Sanger, Planned Parenthood, all that shit against them motherfuckers. Said, wait a minute, man. These motherfuckers out to kill black babies. This ain't no shit I'm down for. You know what I'm saying? And like, the shit is crazy. All the arguments, Mekara was talking about the arguments. I missed some of them. But Brother Mekara, did you mention the fact that they say that white men shouldn't have a right over their bodies? Did you mention that argument?
Say again, Brother Bourne.
That old white men should not have power over women's bodies. Did you mention that as one of the arguments that they use about?
No. Go into that, brother. Go into that.
All right. The idiocy of this argument is the fact that when Roe v. Wade was decided, it was all old white men. Just on the face value, we're not even going to go deep into that. That's just the simplistics. The reason why these things were enacted, there were no women senators on the floor, you know what I'm saying, arguing for none of this stuff at all. It was all old white men arguing for the right for black people to kill their babies. Because remember, this was the real crux of the abortion thing is about. You know what I mean? They can hide it up under anything they want to. The crux of it is a system to keep our population at quote unquote the 13% that it has been at since the enactment of Roe v. Wade. It's gone nowhere. So it's been a well-working, well-oiled, well-working plan. But the ironic thing is now in 2022, they still cry the same thing. No white men should have, all white men should not be voting on our bodies, telling us we can't have abortions. When it was an old Negro, when it was an old black Negro, led this shit up with a white woman and a Puerto Rico or whatever the hell that old other joker is. So you got half of the people who voted on it, not white males, who ended this shit. So these arguments, like Brother Maker, I say, a lot of these arguments, they fall flat on their face just at the beginning of the argument. But they're not really arguing. The debates that they're having in these stores, they're not really thought out things. It's just we have a lot of selfish people in the world who have nothing else. They have no control over nothing else, but that right there is what they got control of. Their mouth and the ability to kill something. And most of the women who talk about some keep abortion, ain't nobody gonna have sex with you anyway. You'll never have a chance to have an abortion. Shit, a lot of them that I've seen anyway. I doubt you ever have a chance for abortion because it ain't. I
Damn.
Highly doubt it. Have you seen her? I see these motherfuckers.
Oh man, it's true though. I seen it too, man.
You see her? I'm gonna go on mute for a second, man. I'm gonna pull up. I'm gonna pull this up, man.
Pull it up. Let's go. Let's get it.
Come on, man.
Oh man.
Man. Come on. And how is this? No, yo, son. Yo, hold on. Yo, listen. No, listen. I want y'all to see something else too. I want y'all to see something with this. Yo, look, man. Why do so many? All right, I'm just looking at a picture. We need videos of them walking. We need videos of them walking and everything. We need video of them walking. But explain this to me. Why are so many of these abortion protests filled with the LGBT, the alphabet mafia?
Say that again, brother. Say that again.
Why? Why is the alphabet mafia so concerned with what heterosexuals do with their bodies? When this ain't part of your thing right here. This part of the straight people thing. This the straight people thing over here. Having babies, making babies, or not making babies, that is totally on the straight crowd. So why is the alphabet mafia so entrenched in it? You know why? Because they part of the murder code. That's they part of the murder code. And hold on, y'all hold on 1 second, man. Give me 1 second. Somebody take over. What's going on? I see my daughter on the line, man. Y'all check my daughter out. Y'all, what up, baby girl? Y'all say something. Hold on, y'all. I'll be right back.
It's funny how we brought up, what's her name? Margaret Sanger. So the type of videos that I watch is a little bit of what you might call the pink pill type of content because, I like to get Black women's perspective on these sort of things. And as we all know, she agreed on keeping the Black population low. Or actually, I believe it was to terminate the Black population. I'm not sure about that. Do not quote me on that. However, I saw this video where this one woman, she completely looked over that and was like, oh, she did this for people in poverty, because people in poverty, they can't afford to keep having multiple kids, this and that. And it's crazy because a few years ago, these are the same women that were like, oh, she was a racist, this and that. But now it's really confusing. And I want to talk about earlier, I think someone talked about women and their careers. So what's going on in this aspect is that nowadays we have this trend where it's like we're going to focus on ourselves, we're going to get degrees and this and that, and we can't focus on anyone else but ourselves. Can't have no man tie us down because, you know, men can leave us and then it's going to be our responsibility and this and that. So I feel like, you know, once you get rid of abortion, these women feel like, okay, well, now, you know, I will have no option but to settle down or like figure out how I will be able to take care of this child. But I think that the reason, like I said before, the reason why black women in particular are really upset about this is because now it's like this trend where we want to focus on ourselves and bettering ourselves because there's this like hate black men type of trend where they feel like, you know, since black women out earn more than black men, like we're going to have to be the ones that have to provide and do this. And they just feel like it's a lot of extra work to carry on once you have a child because then you have to be the main person taking care of that child. But that's just what I wanted to add in on this conversation and just to let you guys know like what's going on this side. So, yeah.
Thank you, sister. Hotel family. And again, I want to make this statement again for the outside world who are just, you know, who are not from America, who are logging on to their laptops and turning their television on, and they're looking at American women who are protesting for the right to abort their babies in response to living and I want to say it, but I will, to living a promiscuous lifestyle. Margaret Sanger said that black women were naturally promiscuous, and she advocated that they should be sterilized. And this idea actually went into practice in the 1940s to the 1970s, where you had hospitals who actually denied women care who came there in labor, who were single mothers, if they did not sign an agreement to be sterilized, and women were sterilized. Most people who hear this type of information have made it their business to be absolutely in denial, who are committed to being in denial and delusion with regards to the facts of the matter, and operate from a place of being an individual. And as we all know, family, all an individual has is an opinion. They have no political power. But when you see yourself as a nation, you see how these I'll just put it in a more simpler context. The decisions that are made by individuals can affect the larger community. The coming together of a man and woman, for example, and procreating and having life touches just not the two individuals, but both sides of each member's family. You see, so somebody's gonna have to babysit this child, etc., etc. So I want to say that again, that the individual decisions made will affect the larger community. Individualism is destroying the black community. Uh, quite frankly, due to our political alignment to one another. Segregation produces unity. Integration integrated us into society as individuals. And everybody else is still practicing segregation but us. They practice integration when they're going out to restaurants for food, entertainment. But collectively, socially, economically, and politically, they're segregated. You see, so if people look past the individual choice and look at how these individual choices have affected the broader community for 40 million aborted black fetuses, you can't help but deny these numbers, family. Peace. And I guess we're still waiting for Brother Boy. He coming with that. He coming with those facts, family. So hold on tight. We're coming with it. And I also want to say it was Margaret Sanger who also coined the term giving women the freedom to do what they want to do with their bodies. So when most of our sisters who may be a little lost who reference that, they're often referencing a racist woman who advocated for the sterilization of black women. And I do have some more facts here, family. Just give me 1 minute. I'll pull these up for you.
I had a question for the family. Y'all hear me?
Yeah.
When looking at this case, when looking at it, does it say if they were looking at the law that they're creating to be beneficial? Who is it more beneficial to, and who is it holding more accountability to the sex life of who they choose to give themselves to? Does it benefit men or does it benefit women more? Or is it kind of like they're attaching the puppet strings to women and saying, well, regardless of what happened to you, if you were raped or if you were molested or if your sexual experience was one of trauma, you're not allowed to have an abortion. I think on that end it's wrong, but in a way it benefits a man. But in the court cases of a woman going and taking the kids from the man and putting them in a court system, it benefits the woman. So because you have two daggers being thrown in two opposite direction, does that make it balance out, or do you see this as a just straight out all attack on women in general?
Good question, brother. I think the sister probably more qualified to answer that, being that she's a woman. And before or when she's getting her information together, I want to share this here definition with you guys, so we don't fall too deep into labels. But the label that was given by Margaret Sanger, let me pull this up here, was the word promiscuous. Was having or characterized by many transient sexual relationships, demonstrating or implying an undiscriminating or unselective approach, indiscriminate or casual, with regards to sexual needs. Okay? Similar to indiscriminate, undiscriminating. Quick definition for the family.
I definitely feel like the court system favors the woman.
Okay, can you expand on that a little more, sister, from your perspective?
So usually in court with kids, family court, the children usually are able to go with the woman. If they happen to be married and the woman was not working, the woman usually takes half of what the man has. And also, I feel like since the court will favor like the kids to go with the wife can then use the kids as leverage to get back at the man, whether it is financially, emotionally, whatever the case is. And also, even so, I feel like women in some cases they just violate the father's rights to their own kids. And I feel like that's completely wrong. Like the father gets no say in what happens in his kid's life. So I think that the court system definitely favors the woman. And I don't know exactly why that is. I will actually do my research on that. So let me get to that.
Okay. And while you're doing that, sister, I'd like to, add my opinion, and it's just an opinion from a male perspective on why a male who's in power would put that in position where the woman will be in favor. And you look at it from a military perspective on how it can be used simply to cause division in the household. From a military perspective, if the image of manhood is defined by the man who is in power, it will make sense to structure and change the relationship that the enemy has with his woman by empowering her in his system. Oh, that's deep, sister. You open up another subject right there, and I want to put this out here while I have it in my head. That is the issue that's going on in the Black community in regards to relationships. Sisters are put in the most hardest position with regards to, do I find success in the system which created my impoverishment to begin with in my suffering, or do I stand behind my man, recognize that he has little to any power in the system, but still focus on how to rebuild that power and balance that power structure by supporting my husband, my brother, my uncles, etc., my grandfathers. And that's the division that you see in relationships right now. And that's reflective of some of the decisions that are made by women to go through having an abortion, for an example. With those who say that it's can affect their career or their schooling and things like that. And what is this guarantee? A place in society, you see. So I just want to share that while the sisters are doing research. Brother Cards, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna speak. There seems to be some programming involved in how, when Brother Bourne mentioned the white man's right to make any decisions regarding the white woman's body, Black women have adopted the same logic, and it goes beyond just their body. It goes into the functioning of the community and justifying, allowing Black men to have the power to practice some level of patriarchy that benefits the community without opposition. So, in short, I guess it's kind of like they see us as the Black version of what the white male power looks like. And so socially, I think, even in this year, when you look at this year, this kind of has been like the most visible the Black family structure has been shown publicly. I've never seen it be like this ever. You think about the Kevin Samuels and the Manosphere and these other situations, even on the sister sides, as far as just showing what their experiences are, speaking to on public forums, it's putting a lot of things under a microscope. And there's a lot of consensus on some of these things, It's just there's not a table to be sat at for both parties to have equal representation, because again, we're still dealing with the white male patriarchy, and we're existing in a Black female patriarchy. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard to still establish manhood under that. You can I mean, functionally, yeah, but as far as establishing it and there being some order and standards being practiced based upon the views of black men, and those views be, practiced, those standards be adopted by the women and children in the community, that hasn't happened yet, in individual pockets and families and so forth. Yeah, but there's a loss of value involved in that. Because if society doesn't value black men, it's easy to kind of discredit us and place us under undervalued situation. I think unconsciously, sometimes sisters don't equal us the same way, so they know they have a different level of leverage in the society to make decisions that we otherwise wouldn't have the opportunity to make.
Well spoken, brother.
Speaking of something else, I had heard of African brothers. He said he used the term. He was speaking in reference to matriarchy and patriarchy in Africa on the continent, and he was saying even if there's a matriarchy, they still function like there's a patriarchy. You get what I mean? It's understood where the protection comes from. It's safety, security is provided. The ability to have the safety and security to raise children is profound, right? I would think it's easier to look forward to birthing children when you know they're going to be protected. But if you've been under this social experiment, we see the outcome of it not being, it being messed up.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I think back to when I was younger in high school and stuff. I don't know if any of y'all had sex education, or middle school rather. I had sex ed in middle school. It was a little VHS tape in health class. Health class was like gym, so you went weekly, and they put on the video. They go through different stages of each gender and so forth, and how they eventually bring forth life. It was real cheesy. It had like white people. It was like the old cereal commercials. You know how they had that brown tint, like that Technicolor tint on them. But anyway, they never dealt with the after effects of getting pregnant in sex ed. It was just sex ed. That was it. It didn't go into anything having to do with family or child rearing or nothing like that. It went right into reproduction, reproductive health, condoms and so forth, and that was it.
You thought about that. It was no real knowledge in terms of educating young ladies when they're ovulating, which is important. What happened to the midwives, for example? Women had a lot more knowledge of their bodies. They were giving doctors information and tips on how to deal with the female body and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But seems to be more or less focused on the external part of the bodies, getting pretty, putting on makeup, but oftentimes you have little teeny knowledge with regards to the internal body. When am I dropping the egg? When do I normally drop an egg? Things like that, etc. That should be what should be taught in sex ed classes with regards to what is more or less focused more or less on protection.
Yeah.
Nah, well, I don't know. I can't remember a sex ed class. I think they had something like that, but everybody ain't have to attend. But I remember when they was teaching girls in home ec, they had home ec and they had wood shop. Don't forget, the girls go to home ec and the boys go to goddamn wood shop. And that's where you start learning. Listen, women learn how to start cooking, men learn how to start fixing shit. Start doing this, and that's where they start. That's the basic of the family structure that you get taught at school. You know what I'm saying? That's the basic. That's the what I mean. That's the whole of it. The men go to wood, or metal shop or some shit like that.
True indeed, boy.
Huh?
Yo, my middle school even had sewing class.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Some type of home ec. You was either and home ec consisted of cooking or sewing. You know what I mean? It was home economics. You had to know what to do inside of the home. They stripped that even out. You know what I mean? That's a concept. That stripped that out. That even brought about a better family structure. You know what I'm saying? Even in the small context that it did, it still was something that was geared to guide society.
Yeah, it took a useful skill away. Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff got stripped away. You know what I mean? Because like we're talking about abortion. There's no need for classes that benefit family when we teaching you to kill the family. You understand? These just play hand in hand. And the more that you kill your babies, the less we know that you need that. And so, that should go hand in hand with the education. The education follows behind the culture that you live in.
Sure indeed.
And they follow each other. The culture follow the education, and the education follow the culture. They circle each other. So you see where we at now. This is where we at right here. Let me see something. Let me see. Share screen is easy with 2 monitors. That's what I want to share. Oh, no. That's what I want to share right there. Is it going to share? What the fuck? Can y'all see that? What the fuck's going on, man? It's not sharing for me, man. I'm trying to get this shit. Man, it's not trying to share. I'm trying to put this fucking video. Trying to put this video up so y'all can see how it's going on. But I guess it's not trying to mess with me tonight. You know what I'm saying? It ain't trying to mess with me tonight. We about to go off into some other directions. I'd rather not do that. I want to stay on one topic and then we could just cut it and we'll do another show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think you know what I mean. Hey, everybody out there, yo, well, we doing Feet on the Ground. It's FOG Refugees. We in here with my man, Brother Cause, running the ones and twos. We got Brother Rahab Rule, Brother Menkara, special guest host. We got my daughter in here, my queen. It's me, born number one ninja. We here, we doing, we're gonna make sure that we keep these lives lively, and we're gonna make sure that we giving y'all some news right now. We just in a little discussion, but we'll have we'll be coming back and we'll just be posting news articles and then getting in dialogue right now. We just open up dialogue about the abortion thing that everybody is pushing on, and just letting everybody express their thoughts on it. So for the viewers out there, like, comment, subscribe, but y'all also, we'll make sure we throw in a link into the chat because we also like to hear what the people out there thinking. But we'll make sure we do that after we finish articles and shit like that. But hey, I don't know what else. Go ahead, Brother Cause. This on you. My shit.
Peace. Yeah, we're gonna end the stream and start a new one right after. All right. Black Power. Peace.
Peace.